The greatest game of all time.
Old dragon was running alongside the lake after the princess to roast her up for supper when all of a sudden
Actually, we're not talking about the greatest game of all time. Well, not yet. Let's talk about horror games. I am pissing my pants. You guys remember when I talked about this game? Now this game may seem innocent, like how the hell is Piglet going to scare you? But it gets scary. You know what also is a horror game? Resident Evil. Quite possibly the most popular series when it comes to horror. I mean, look at this. I got a phobia of polygons and holy shit, this scares me. Resident Evil 1 is a classic. Is it terrifying? Maybe.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Now, Resident Evil 2, this shit is also a classic. This is the scariest part of this game. In RE2, we meet Leon Kennedy, who navigates through the iconic police station solving puzzles and shit while escaping. What the hell is that? Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. You play as Jill from the first game and escape Nemesis. This is the original trilogy of classics that is the Resident Evil trilogy. If we exclude all of this stuff. All of these games had a very structured cycle to them. There was a flow. You find yourself in some building structured like a labyrinth with like fucking 100 doors. You must find keys to unlock doors that get you to other objects and other things and other keys and other doors. So you can escape whatever threats may be lurking inside of this building or city if it's a Resident Evil 3. Also, all of these games had another thing in common. This. Now what is this, you may be asking? The shitty camera angles. Resident Evil used fixed camera angles for the early entries and it can create a sense of, I don't know, mystery with you sometimes not being able to see what's in front of you in some angles. Every turn you make or route you go could be your last. That's the ideal feeling out of these camera angles, but when I play games with these, I feel nauseous, dude. Also, it doesn't really help that your character controls like a tank. And so the only really scary thing about these early games aren't the enemies, but the controls. Shit. Introducing Capcom, who I probably should have introduced earlier, but they make Resident Evil. Not so fun fact.
Not so fun fact.
But the formula was getting stale. So we got Resident Evil 4 where you play as Dante exploring this cool ass castle with this demon sword and you fight like puppet guys. Oh, that's not RE4. That's Devil May Cry. I was about to say that's a fucking weird ass Resident Evil game, dude. Okay, let's get to the thing.
I knew you'd be fine if you landed on your butt.
Resident Evil 4 is quite possibly one of the greatest games of all time. Look at this. Look at this. Instead of these angles, we get this over-the-shoulder camera angle, which helps more with the game's focus on action. This was one of the first games to really do it also, which is, it's revolutionary. But I don't really want to talk about the OG Resident Evil 4 as, yes, I like it a lot, and I've played it a lot, but maybe that'll get its own video. I don't know. I want to talk about the remake because that's the one I played more, and I have a deeper connection to it, I feel. So let's talk about the remake. The guy doesn't say the voice.
Resident Evil 4.
Holy shit, look at this game. In Resident Evil 4, we play as Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 2, who has a mission to save the president's daughter from this village that has very evil residents within. The locals got parasites, there's a strange cult, weird-ass mutants, pretty usual stuff for this series. The gameplay of the first Resident Evil game is very quiet and somewhat atmospheric. Most of the time, but Resident Evil 4 can get very freaking chaotic at times. I love it. In the first 15 minutes, Leon walks into some house, and there's a guy in there that pulls a weapon out on Leon, but Leon blocks the strike with his knife. He blocks a whole ass axe with a knife, and then he breaks the guy's neck with a single kick. That's my boy. Speaking of kicking, the combat in this game is also just insane, and you can also do this crazy ass kick throughout the entire game. The guns sound and feel wonderful. The knife is quite handy, especially in stealth scenarios, but more so for parrying, which is a new feature added in the remake. Because in the OG, melee combat's really not an option, especially in the later portions, and so I feel like the knife has more of a reason to be here, other than being used to break loot boxes like the original. The combat in this game is just so fine-tuned. It feels so good to get an instant headshot on an enemy and then right after fucking break their neck with this roundhouse kick. Aside from combat, the game is just beautiful. Of course, this is a modern game released in the fucking 2020s. We have Cyberpunk, we have all these other cool, good looking games. So of course this game is beautiful and it runs on the RE engine. Fun fact, RE does not mean Resident Evil, it means reach for the moon. The scenery in this game is just very cool, and there's a lot of set pieces and moments in the game that are just really fun to look at. Ada returns in this game. Is that a spoiler? Oh no, I spoiled a 20-year-old game. Ashley also returns, of course. Who's Ashley for those who never played this game? Why, she is basically, she's the main objective, the one we must rescue, the president's daughter. There are segments in this game where you must defend Ashley from the infected, which, yeah, it's like the original, but it adds a certain, what's the word? It adds tension and stress. Ashley's addition in this game is probably better than the original, as she's an actual character in this game, and honestly, her and Leon have a lot more funny and cool interactions, because in the original game, kind of just like, Ashley's kind of like piece of cardboard, dude. But her and Leon have a lot more funny moments, and they actually talk during gameplay, which is nice. It's charming. It's cool. But I think one thing this remake does a whole lot better, there's just a ton of changes to not only the gameplay, but also the story and cutscenes. Example. In the remake, when Luis meets Ashley, he says,
Hey, I see you found your missing señorita.
Senorita has a name, it's Ashley.
but in the OG,
I see that the president's equipped his daughter with ballistics, too.
fair amount of stuff changed here, and a lot of minor changes. For example, in the portion when Ada is tied up, instead of landing on a mattress like in the original, there are less radio transmission sequences, as in the remake you can't talk to any of the villains in transmissions. You only talk to Hunnigan, Luis, and Ada through this. But in the OG you could talk to more of the villains, and it allowed them to be more developed and we got to see more of them. Because this game has some pretty cool, unique, and entertaining villains for the series. So it kind of sucks that we're kind of cut from being able to see more of them and to hear them. But most importantly, got rid of this scene.
It should keep you busy.
Can't remember the name, huh? A senior moment, perhaps.
There's just a lot of odd changes, which just goes to show that the remake isn't a replacement for the original, but it's rather a fresh take for modern audiences in mind. Also, they removed the whole ass boss fight from the OG. Talking about boss fights, there's a good amount which are all pretty good. Ramon's fight was ridiculously hard for me on my first playthrough. Shit got the fucking golden egg. The final boss of the game, Sadler, has a pretty cool boss fight, which ends with Ada giving you a rocket launcher, which is pretty cool. It's like RE2. You didn't blow up Sadler and escape the island in this cool ass jet ski sequence, and that's how the game ends. Very similar to the original.
After you take me back to my place, how about we do some overtime?
Except for that. I gotta get out of here! After this, we get the reveal of an RE5 remake, which is expected. They gotta do a lot of heavy lifting with that game, though.
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you.
But that was Resident Evil 4 Remake. This is probably my favorite remake Capcom has done so far. It just changes a lot of things while keeping the game fresh. And this is just a damn good game. Alright, that's it for this video.